Welcome to the Let's Talk BS podcast. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Sofia, and we're coming to you live from the
757, where we discuss real estate,
culture, and current events.
Hey, what's going on, Sofia? How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
What was the big laugh for? What was that?
You drug that. What's going on?
Okay, my bad. My bad.
You looked at me like you was unsure.
Nah, I thought you was about to say something. It seemed like you was getting your lips ready to say something. So
yeah,
I didn't wanna...
the response.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you was about to do the intro or say what's up.
No. Not today.
Not today. Okay. Well, it's Friday.
It is.
You know,
It's
last
nice
day of the
outside.
week. Yeah, it's nice.
It's beautiful. I got on sandals today.
Oh, you do? Okay. You
I
got
do.
the feet out.
Got the feet out.
Are they done?
That's a long
She
story.
starts stuttering, so that ain't. Yeah, that don't mean.
That's
that
they are.
They are.
But I had a mishap.
Uh-oh.
Probably about 2 or 3 months ago. So we still in progress.
Still recovering.
Still recovering.
Okay. Big toe, little toe. Which one? All on. Which
Big
one?
toe.
Big toe. Big problems then. Not little problems.
Not
Big
little problems. Big problems.
I got you.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's a nice day outside. It's Friday.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it's going to, I've been so ripping and running. It's the end of the month. I didn't even look at the weather this weekend. I think it's going to be
I haven't
decent,
looked
right?
at the weather
No?
either.
It's gonna be pretty good? Yeah.
Good. Because
My
I'm
son-
tired of the cold weather.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I know my son is crazy. He has his first baseball game tomorrow, so that's pretty cool. He's never played baseball before a day in his life, but you know, springtime, it was either baseball or soccer, and he said he wanted to play baseball this time around. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully the weather is good, like you said, because I ain't trying to be out there and it be cold. 'Cause I think the game is at 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So
Oh wow.
yeah, so hopefully it ain't it ain't cold outside.
Yeah.
So.
Those are the worst.
Yeah.
I remember when my daughter played softball, her games were in the evening. So like when you first got there, it was nice.
And it started getting cool.
But you know, baseball take forever.
Yeah.
And then it was in the fall because
Yeah.
she was in middle school. And so it got cold. I mean, to the point where I had my little wagon. I would bring like covers.
Yeah.
Because it would be so cold, and then the benches are cold.
Yeah.
So it makes you even colder. So yeah. My daughter's playing she's running track. She made the track team. She tried out and she made the track team.
Which one?
Outdoor track.
I'm sorry, which daughter I mean?
The oldest.
The oldest, okay. That's what's up.
Yeah. So we back to this
running?
Monday through Friday.
What events she's running at all? She's sprint or she's doing long distance?
She's running the 400, I think.
400 stuff, man. That's
I think it's the 400. I
400
think
is
it's
one lap.
that.
Yeah, one lap around.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it is the 400.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah. So yeah, she's doing that. I told her, I was like, I don't agree.
Why? What was wrong? Why you don't agree?
Because I got to pick her up every day.
Oh, okay.
That's
yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
Track is Monday through Friday, every day until 6:30.
Yeah, that's true.
And then 2 of those days, she got practice at 7.
I remember when I was in school, they have an athletic bus at all?
What about the athletic bus isn't going to take her to
home?
Volleyball practice?
Okay, I got you. I was just talking about from the standpoint of
like her getting home.
school.
I mean, yeah, but they do have an athletic bus, but I don't put her on that bus because we're already out of zone. Remember, she doesn't go to school in our zone. So just for her to get home, even on a day when she doesn't have any sports, she gets home at 5:30.
Yeah.
So she's literally on the bus for an hour and a half.
Gotcha.
So that's a lot on her if she was to stay until practice until 6:30, and then now she has to wait another hour and a half to get home.
Yeah.
When in that hour and a half, I could have picked her up. We could have came home. She, if she can eat, do the things that she has to do, and
really
go to
maximize
sleep
the
at
time.
a
I got you.
yeah. So I wouldn't make her get on the athletic bus. Now, if we were in district, that'd be a different story.
Yeah.
Then I wouldn't care. I'd be like, you got it. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm with you. I remember I remember growing up, being in that same time where, like, obviously I lived in district, so I didn't go to school out of district, so obviously I know there's different dynamics there. But my mom, she couldn't wait for me to get my license so that I could, like, drive to, like, my extracurricular activities I was doing, because that was a burden. Like, she used to hate that,
My daughter take her driver's test tomorrow.
Oh, for real?
Baby.
Okay.
I'm excited.
There you go. That's what's up.
She can't officially get her license though until it's either May or June.
Okay.
Yeah, but she can take the test earlier.
Yeah,
then
and once the time frame comes.
Then once the time frame comes, you just got to go sit in front of a judge, which is crazy to me.
You got to sit in front of a judge?
Yeah, you got to go to a judge. To get and the judge has to give you something. They told me, I don't know. This is a Virginia thing.
Oh, look, there you go with the Virginia shots again.
It is.
You ain't had them in a while.
That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. Why do they have to go in front of a judge? Why?
I don't know.
To scare them?
That's got to be something new, though. I haven't heard of that before. I know I didn't have to go in front of a judge. I mean, I know I got my license 25 years ago?
You never had to go in front of a judge for anything when you got your license?
I've been in front of a judge.
No. I'm talking about when you got your license.
You said for anything. I mean, I've been in front of a judge before. But not for no driver's license. Driver's license, what I did for my driver's license was they used to, and I'm pretty sure they still have it, they had behind the wheel in school. And so I obviously had my learner's permit. I had to have my learner's permit for a certain amount of time. I can't remember how long ago it was. Then I had to pass behind the wheel. And as long as I passed behind the wheel and paid, I think it was cost that came with it, they turned it in. And once I became, I think it was at the time 16 and 3 months. I think it was. Yep. Because my birthday's in December. I remember I got my license like right around this time of the year in March. Of my sophomore year. That's all. I just had to pay the money and pass behind the wheel. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't have to stand in front of no judge.
Well, you have to either be 16 and 3 months or have your permit for 9 months.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. It was. I remember it was one of the two. I remember for me
because Maya didn't pass on her.
Yeah, and I didn't pass on my first time either.
She had to wait and then take it again, and then when she got it, that's how it started the time frame. Yeah. But so speaking of being in front of a judge, I don't know if I ever told this story on air. So way back in the day when I lived in Florida, I was on my way home, and I stopped at the stop sign. I promise you I stopped at the stop sign because my dad was in the car with me. And I remember stopping and saying something to him. Like, I don't know what I said to him, but it made me, like, stop in order to get my point across type of thing. Mm-hmm. And so the police officer pulled me over, gave me a ticket. And I was gun-ho that I did stop at this stop sign, right? Okay. So I scheduled to go to court. Went to the court date as opposed to paying the ticket and keep it moving, right? So I get in the courthouse. I got my summons. I'm looking at it. And in Miami-Dade, the courthouse is huge. I really don't know what the courthouse looks like here 100%. I think I've been there maybe once, but it doesn't ring a bell. But the courthouse is huge. So I didn't realize that there was it may be the same room number, but it could be like the same room number A, the same room number B, or something like that, to where I ended up walking into a courtroom where they were convicting like hardcore criminals, right? God. So I'm sitting in the back. I don't know what it's called. What is that? In the church, you call it the pew. Is that what it's called in court? I don't know. I don't know what it's called either. Yeah. So I'm sitting in the back and I'm
benches.
I'm sitting in the back and I'm looking, and they're breaking up the criminals, and they're like, murder in the first degree. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, but damn, all I do is
all you do
I got a parking ticket.
Yeah.
I stopped running the stoplight. Yeah. I'm like, damn, if I go to jail?
Oh my goodness gracious.
So then something told me, get up, Sophia, and go and ask somebody if you're in the right courtroom. So I get up, I go and ask somebody, and they're like, oh, yeah, no, you in the wrong courtroom. Honey, it didn't, dawn on you.
It's like traffic court.
Yeah. And I was criminal. Look, this is the first time I've ever been to court.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know any different. So I get in my courtroom, and nobody's in there besides the judge and the bailiff. Yep. And I'm running in. I'm like, wait.
Oh, God.
It was like a movie. The bailiff laughed at me, literally, laughed at me. Yeah. And the judge was like, why are you late? I was like, I was in the wrong courtroom. Mind you, I'm like 20-something, like 23, 24, 25. And I think that the judge, he dropped the charge, but then I had to pay like a court fee just for being late, I think it was, or something like that. So I wouldn't pay my fee and then got about my business. But I remember that courtroom and I was like, oh my God. I mean, they had people, this is how bad it was in the courtroom. They had people behind, or like videos of people. They couldn't even come to the court because they were so dangerous. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm in the wrong, why am I here?
Yeah, that's tough.
That's the only time I've ever been in a courtroom, officially for something that I did wrong.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's funny.
Or didn't do wrong.
That would have had me shook too.
I did not.
Yeah, I guess you didn't you were found, I guess, or
Not
they threw it
guilty.
out. Yeah. So yeah, so that's funny though. Yeah, that's funny. I'd have been pretty shook too. Going into the courtroom and you see all of these people doing crazy stuff. You're like, oh my gosh, you know? Yeah. Yeah. I remember I had an incident a couple years ago where I had to go to court for a traffic violation, and I remember it was the same, not nowhere near the situation you're talking about, but I was there with my buddy who's the attorney, and I was like, I think they were doing an alphabetical order or something, and so my last name starting with the R. I was kind of towards the end, I guess you could say, of the group that was being seen in front of the judge during that time, and so I was hearing everything that people were doing. I mean, it was just like really, really bad things. And I'm like, yo, like, I don't belong here. Like, you know, that's how I just felt. Like, I mean, it wasn't like people were killing people, but it was just like, I mean, you had people like overdosing, people just like third, fourth DUI. I mean, it was just like pretty bad things. I'm like, yo, like, yeah, I don't belong here, you know? And so I remember having a conversation with my attorney after it, and he was like, yeah, man, because my thing got thrown out as well, kind of very similar to yours. And he was just like, yeah, man, he was like, you're not a criminal. Like, he's like, judges, they sit here all day and stand in front of people. He was like, so they know who's the who's, basically, you know what I'm saying? So like, you present yourself well. I remember I came there, I had a suit on and everything. Like, most people there was like baggy jeans and just not presenting themselves in a well manner.
Oh, well,
so,
I came in almost whatever. I was living in Florida, so.
No, hey, teach his own. I'm just letting you know the experience I had as far as like the other people. It was like, you know, I looked different. Like, if you'd have been looking at everybody who was being seen, like, I looked different. I looked like I was an attorney, I guess you could say, in that sense. You know what I mean? Everybody else was just kind of just chilling or whatever. But
that's so funny.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I was watching 911. You know the show 911 with I think it's Angela Bassett.
Nah. I don't.
No?
It's a TV show that's
yes,
on right
a TV
now?
show called 911. So on the TV, so like maybe like last year or the year before, did you see the video online about the guy? He was having a virtual court date, and it was for him driving without a license.
Oh,
and
yeah, we talked about it.
He was driving, right?
Yeah. We did it on. We
so
talked about
they used that in the show.
Oh, for real?
As a scene.
Like they. Oh, so they.
So they
yeah. Okay, yeah. With their
I thought
people.
with their actors and stuff like that. But I thought it was hilarious that they used it. So the judge, the attorney, then they had like the guy, and he was like. His phone was cutting out. He like, hold on, y'all, and you can hear it cutting out.
The whole thing.
They reenacted it so well.
That's funny. Nah, it's funny because like that's what I remember we talked about before on like shows that we watched. Like, I haven't watched it in a while, but SVU.
Yeah,
right.
SVU,
that's what they do.
Yeah,
they do that as well. They'll pull like real live, like current events, things that have happened, polarizing situations, and then they'll actually do the same exact thing. You know what I mean? Like, kind of show it in their lens or whatnot. So
absolutely,
yeah,
that is so funny. So what's been going on the last couple weeks?
Let me think. Last couple weeks, not much for real. Work's been really busy. Like I said, activities have been good. I think it was the week before I did what I do. I did like a home buyer expo over in Newport News that weekend, something I hadn't done in a long time. A lot of times on the weekends I dedicate to my family. So this particular time was a guy who kept reaching out to me to kind of do something for the community at a church that he's a member of. So we did it there, and it was actually really good. We got a couple of people pre-approved from it, so it was really cool. Then I did I partnered up with an agent I work with. We rented out a movie theater and saw or did like a client appreciation event where we had folks that we helped purchase houses over the years come out and check out the new Captain America movie. And that was pretty cool. You know, definitely seeing a black guy, you know, be Captain America as well. So that was pretty cool. The movie was good too. What else, man? Just playing golf, you know, here and there. The weather's starting to break, as we mentioned earlier. So being able to go out there a couple times with my buddies and a couple times with my son as well. And last weekend, what was pretty cool is I went over to my sister's house. So her and her husband, they got a new place together. And so we went over there to her house, and they finally got like all of their stuff from their wedding back. So they got like all the pictures, videos, just everything that was, you know, came from the wedding. And they were able to, like, you know, we all got there. They had made a whole bunch of food, like a taco themed event, I guess you can say.
Lunch, brunch?
Yeah, like a brunch, lunch, whatever. And then, you know, we all sat there and watched like all the videos and all the pictures and everything from the wedding. So that was really, really cool as well. But outside of that, I mean, that's pretty much been it for real. My buddy Shal, he had his birthday the other day, so we kind of kicked it on his deck, you know, and kind of just reflected on the past year for him and, you know, for us as, you know, the friends that we are.
Right.
So that was pretty cool. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
What about you? What's been going on with you?
Let me see. I'm trying to think. So last weekend, I actually attended it was an event for some Air Force individuals who made rank. Results just recently came out, so there was like this event for that where they celebrated them. So I attended that. That was actually pretty cool. And we played Uno, it's the brown Uno. Dang, what is it called? No Mercy. Have you played that?
Nah, I haven't heard of it.
It is so fun. You gotta play. Guys, if you like Uno, try Uno No Mercy and actually follow the rules. It's not like your normal Uno. You could definitely put a +4 on a +6 and so forth. Or a +4 on a +6. Draw 4. Yeah, something like that. Play it.
Okay. So what is it? It's the same cards, just different rules or something?
Yeah, same cards, different rules. Well, mostly the same cards and different rules. Okay. So in Uno No Mercy, there's a +2, +4, +6, +10.
Okay, so there's more. Okay.
Yeah, but once you get 25 cards, if you ever get 25 cards in your hand, then you're eliminated from the game.
Okay.
You can hand swap, and you could put a +6 on top of a +4 or a +10 on top of a +6, but you can't go backwards. So you can never put a +2 on a 10.
Yeah, I got
it
you.
always has to increase.
Greater.
Greater than. So it's actually pretty cool. I like it. We played that. We played like, you know, the cards that have like the initials, and then you're supposed to guess like what those initials mean in black terms. So we played that.
Okay.
We played this gambling game where you use $3, you roll the dice, and then depending on, you know, what the dice say, you either have to put it in the center or take your dollar and put it to the right. If you get a dot, you keep the money, and then whoever is the last person to get eliminated, they win the pool.
Okay.
And then we played drinking games. So basically where you, it's like a shot in the middle, and you have to flip the cup. If you flip the cup and you get it to land, then you can make the shot go forward, and then you kind of go back and forth until it gets to the end, and then whoever loses,
somebody on Instagram before. Yeah. Okay.
Take the shot. So all the games were fun. We had a good time. That was actually nice to get out and do something. So we did that.
Cool.
Outside of that, just your normal mom stuff, you know.
Cool.
Ortho appointments, work, gym.
That's what's up. Yeah, we it's funny, I think it was for Christmas, I want to say, because it's been since then I can remember we started playing it. But my son, he has a kid game, but it's actually fun. I like it as well. It's a card game with a board. It's called Dude Perfect. Mm-hmm. You heard of that before?
Mm-mm.
All right. You heard it before, Mike? Yeah. It's actually pretty cool, man. So we play it. It's just me, Brooke, and my son play, and then Sloan, our daughter, she's like the person that hands out the golden boys. That's like the little thing you get. So basically, it's like a big board like Monopoly. There's like 4 or 5 different characters, and you roll the dice, and then you move your character. And on the board, there's different things that you do. You draw cards, you know, that type of stuff or whatever. But the key to the game, or the way you win the game, is there's these golden boys. You got to collect 4 golden boys to win. And so we play that pretty much. I want to say for the last couple weeks, we kind of started playing it like around spring break. Mm-hmm. We had like about almost close to a month ago. Now we play it pretty much every night now. Like, you know, after we eat dinner, we'll sit down and play it or whatever. And right now, the first we played, I'm up in the series. I got 6 wins. My son has 5, and Brooke has 1. And it's funny because I actually was up 5-0-0. And now, like, my son has started to come back, and then I think Brooks picked up a win the other night as well. But that game's been pretty fun as well. Like, you know, channeling my own childhood, playing like the little board games like that's been pretty cool. My son loves it. Like, he's loved it.
We play this game called Spit, and it's with cards. And I'm the champion, really can't find too many people who can beat me.
Wow. Okay.
I'm pretty quick, and usually the adult men, they never win because they can't multitask. A lot of men can't multitask. A lot of them. I can't say all of them.
I definitely say that's not. I can multitask, but not.
Yeah. So in this game,
something's gonna fall off. I can't multitask and be in like. Cause for me, when I do stuff, I like to try to do it to the best of my ability.
Right.
And when I'm distracted, like something's gonna.
So in this game, that the whole game is being able to see 3 different piles at the same time and like quickly get the cards down.
Yeah, I ain't messing with
and
that.
So every man that has ever played this game, they suck at it.
Oh man, she went hard with the suck. They suck
do.
At it.
I mean, every friend that I've had at the house that was a guy, like neighbors, and my homegirls and their spouses, my spouse, no man has won.
Dang.
Not multiple times.
Yeah.
Maybe like one win, lucky win. Yeah.
Not consistently.
Haven't seen a man win yet.
Yeah. All right. I never played it before, so I can't speak on it.
Well, yeah. All right. Well, let's see. What have I seen in the news? I've seen in the news when it comes to mortgage. Did you see where FHA announced that they're no longer going to allow non-permanent residents to purchase homes?
Yeah, I did. I did see that. Yeah, I had a couple people reach out to me about it, actually just asking questions about it. And it's a situation where it is a big deal. I think I've seen some people kind of, feel like it's not something that's a big deal or kind of just say, hey, whatever. But, I know
it's not a big deal when you're not in that situation.
Correct. Yeah. So, I'm just thinking about, some of the people I know I can think of that I helped that were in that situation that, they, first try to come over here to achieve and be a U.S. citizen, right? Maybe coming from a country, that doesn't have the same opportunity that is here.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they come here, they do all the different things that they're trying to do to be able to become a U.S. citizen. Sometimes, that process is quick. Sometimes that process is very long. I've seen people who have gotten it very soon in a matter of months. I've seen some people who 10, 15, 20 years, have not gotten their citizenship for whatever reasons, right? But they still, do everything else that a U.S. citizen does as far as pay taxes and do everything and work, right? And earn a living for themselves and been able to purchase houses. So, that's been that way for decades. And so for, all of a sudden now for this to change, obviously I'm a big pro when it comes to home ownership because I understand how that can, help a family when it comes to, financially, that investment that it makes, help, that parent, that person and their kids, and their legacy. It does kind of suck just hearing like, hey, a certain demographic of people who are here, that live here, are no longer going to be able to take advantage of that program. Now, there are other programs out there, so I do understand, that thought process, but still, like, us knowing, us being, us being in this field, in this industry, we understand how powerful the FHA loan is and how many people
especially
really rely
now.
on it. Yeah, and how many people really rely on it. So it just kind of sucks that a demographic of folks is just no longer going to be access to that, even if they're doing all the proper channels to become a U.S. citizen.
Yeah. So. When my dad first moved to the United States, he was not a U.S. citizen. So I don't know when he bought his first home if he was a U.S. citizen. I can never go back and ask, but it's pretty interesting. I think I do have his loan paperwork though, so I'm gonna go. Now I'm curious, and I'm gonna go back and look at the application because he saved all that stuff, so I can actually go back and look to see if he was a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, during that time.
Yeah, during that time because it'll be on there. But yeah. Just imagine if he wasn't able to purchase a home.
Yeah, it's funny. I seen people, man, and it's funny, man. I seen people on TV talking about it, on social media, just kind of talking about it, and it's very funny. Like when things don't affect you, how people have such a negative response when it comes to certain things, man. I've never understood that. Like I feel like being a very understanding person of just understanding how. Sometimes when things change, legislation-wise or whatever it may be, how just being empathetic about, hey, how these things can now affect certain folks, certain demographics of folks. But for you just to kind of talk like, just like dismissive or just kind of talk about it like you're greater than, I just never really liked that. And I saw a lot of that going on online the last couple of days since that announcement or whatnot. So
Yeah.
that sucks, man. Just kind of seeing, you know, people be very divisive in that way when it comes to people's rights and what they're able to do, you know.
Absolutely. And also, guys, if you're a foodie like I am, I saw in the news that they proposed in Virginia Beach that food taxes is going to increase from 5.5% to 6%. So that'll make the overall tax amount that you pay in a restaurant 12%. And it's like, man,
Yeah.
you look at, you ever look at your receipt and it's like, it has your total and then it's like tax,
Yeah.
gratuity. And then by the time you add all that up, it's like an extra $30.
Yeah, I'm like, I got more tax items than items that I actually purchased. Like, you look at them, like, I bought 2 things, and I got 5 lines of taxes and fees. I'm like, what's going on?
You know what? Let me give you guys a good hack. So when you're reading the receipt, you're supposed to give 20% of the purchase, not 20% of the total price of your food. I hope you guys realize that, because if you look at the receipt and they always give you like the suggested amount, they're giving you the suggested 10, 15, 20% of the actual total of including the taxes. So you want to make sure that you're calculating that right and you're giving 20% of what the food cost is.
Somebody brought that to my attention. I think it was my wife. She brought it to my attention, like, honestly, not too long ago. Like, I'm always just like, you know, I'm doing numbers, so I'm like, okay, 20% on that bench.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Like, nah, that's you're right. You got to subtract those other things that are already being applied to.
Yeah, you don't want to pay tax. You don't want to pay, you know, an extra gratuity on taxes. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So you got to definitely pay attention. Some restaurants, they have it calculated pretty accurately.
Yeah.
But a lot of them don't.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you're really taking a look at what your total food cost is, and then apply your gratuity onto that. Yeah. And my typical gratuity is 20%.
Yeah, I am too. And I'm still.
Now, let me ask you this though.
Okay.
If you're picking up your food and you're not being served, do you leave a tip?
Nah. During the pandemic, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, during the pandemic, I did. I was more intentional on that just because I knew that.
Just because they were there.
Situation.
You know, they could have not been there, right?
Yeah.
We would have food.
Yeah, that. And then also just like, I know that, you know, a lot of times, you know, during the pandemic, you couldn't actually go eat in a restaurant, right? So everything was to go, right, for a certain period of time. So I knew that was business and money that they were missing out on because you couldn't sit there and dine and tip, you know, a waiter or waitress. So I tried to, you know, do that part, I guess you could say, or, you know, pay it forward almost in a sense. It's like, hey, you know, at least being cognizant of that. But nah, like if I'm just grabbing some food to go, nah.
So in the pandemic, same mindset, but different reasoning, right? For me, it was like, well, you're out here risking your life. Like, because, you know, back then when it first happened, like, we all thought it was the end, right? Yeah. So it was like, you're out here risking your life. I'm going to go ahead and tip you. Yeah, Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Serving us. Yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah. That was my mindset. But, yeah. So I struggle with that, man. I really do. Mm-hmm. You know, because it's like, you see the tip jar or the restaurants where you go in, like, for example, Biscuit Belly.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You know how you go in there, or even Panera Bread. You go in there, you buy your food, and then you wait to pick it up.
Yeah.
You go sit down, but then they may, like, come clean up. Or they, you know, clean up the restaurant stuff. Do you tip them?
I mean, I've never had.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I never have.
But they have, you know, the gratuity jars and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but people who have dined with me, 2 things. They know that if you come out with me, I'm typically picking up the bill. Like just how I am, how my dad raised me. I'm picking up the bill 99% of the time, right? So that's already that, right? And then the second part is people also understand and know, like, that when I dine at places, I tip very well. Like, you know, but I tip at least 20%, but then I'll go higher based on the actual service. So, you know, if the person is attentive, listen, you know, caters to my needs, I feel like they're doing their job, I will definitely tip them a lot more. You know what I mean? I've even tipped more than the actual bill that I receive, you know, on occasions because of how well they've serviced and the conversation and things like that. Because people don't understand, man, what's underrated in that industry, which I've never been in that industry before, man, just having conversation. Just talk, how's your day going? You know, is there an event going on? Just like asking questions, talking to my kids, my wife, like just those things to me I'm going to tip you more because of that. Especially you're busy, you got stuff going on, and you're still trying to,
still trying to take the time to connect.
Connect with me and my party at that time or whatnot. Yep. So, I'm a good tipper, man. I'm definitely a good tipper, but I'm not going to tip when I'm just picking up food. That ain't happening. Nah.
What the guy say? Pause.
Pause. Yeah. Pause. Yeah.
Pause.
Pause. Yeah, you're right. What's up? What else? So I saw that Governor Youngkin is not going to require everyone who's in a vehicle to wear a seatbelt. So that's really, not going after, but it's really about the people who are in the back seat, right?
Right.
Because it's always been a rule where, if you're in the front seat, you're supposed to wear your seatbelt, right? Mm-hmm. I think it was kind of some gray area when it comes to, being in the back seat and being required to wear a seatbelt. So I'll be honest, for me, I'm a seatbelt driver.
Me too.
I wear my seatbelt all the time, but when I'm in the back seat, I do not wear my seatbelt. So this situation is definitely going to impact me, which the only times I really am that I can recall, like in the last 15, 20 years, that I'm in the back. Well, I'm going to say 15. When I was younger and stuff, I was in the back seat riding with my friends.
You aged yourself 15, 20 years.
No, but the only
back in my day.
Yeah, back in my day, right? Yeah, the only time that I'm really in the back seat is if I'm in an Uber right now. Like, that's the only time. You know what I'm saying?
And you got to be careful with the Uber drivers, man, because,
you're right.
You risking it all. Let them drive.
You're right. It's just not a natural action. When I get in the back seat, it's like I just sit there. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine the Uber driver pick you up, right? You get in the car, and then they turn up, move, bitch, get out the way, and they drive it.
Oh, yeah.
What you gonna do?
I'm gonna call the police.
You gonna call the police?
Yeah.
You're not gonna say just pull over, man. I'll call somebody else.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you talking about him switching through traffic and going crazy?
Yeah, he like.
I'm gonna have to try to get out of that drive. I might tuck and roll. Shit.
Not tuck and roll.
What they say? Stop, drop, and roll. Is that what they say? Yeah.
The car ain't on fire.
But I'm not trying to die either. I feel like I'm in his control at that time. He or she. You know
right.
What I mean?
That is funny because you think about it. A lot of people don't put on a seatbelt there's been times where I've been in an Uber and I didn't put on my seatbelt, but there has been times where I was like, hold on.
Yeah, I've done that before. So it's not muscle memory for me to sit down and get in the back seat of a vehicle and like just to automatically put my seatbelt on like I do in the front seat or driving. Mm-hmm. But like if I'm in the back seat and I've been in the back seat of an Uber, and typically when I'm in the Uber, I'm in like a metropolitan area, so it's a more city situation. Yeah. Traffic, people a little bit more aggressive when it comes to the driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been times when my Uber driver's been doing the most, and I kind of ease my seatbelt on because I'm like, I feel like this might not end the way I thought it was going to end. You know what I mean? As far as me getting from A to B safely.
Right.
So I did see Governor Youngkin come out with that. I'm not sure when that's going to. I think it was just a bill that he, I guess he suggested or, put into play. But I don't know if it's something that's actually taken place or will take place. But it is something that I know that is on the table.
Yeah.
Something else I did see as well is just kind of on the local scene, Norfolk. So my kids, they go to a school in Norfolk, but there's a lack of enrollment for the city of Norfolk when it comes to the school system there. And so they're actually going to look to consolidate down to 10 schools or consolidate 10 of their schools in the city of Norfolk. So
how many schools is it now?
I don't know. I didn't look into that.
Oh, okay.
I know Norfolk doesn't have, when it comes to like the cities like Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk and Portsmouth don't have as many, because the cities are a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
But I do know that obviously the consolidation is going to affect people. I know how like school zonings things are or whatever. So, I'm kind of interested to see how that is going to happen, they said it's going to probably start taking place in 2026, the fall of 2026.
Yeah.
So I'm eager to see kind of how that's going to actually take place and see who, what schools they're going to consolidate, which ones they're going to stay.
So I was on Instagram and I saw that there was this child at Maury High School. Is that a high school in Norfolk?
Yeah, Maury.
Okay. He got jumped in the bathroom and he looked pretty bad. I mean, his he had a black eye. He had like looked like a blood vessel bust in his eye. Mm-hmm. His lip was completely cut open. Like you could see inside of his lip. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, we're going to consolidate the schools, right? Mm-hmm. But then if you consolidate the schools, then that's more people that the security guards have to check in on. Like, why wasn't there anybody present or in the vicinity to see or hear this young kid like yelling or screaming or, you know, because if you getting beat up by, I don't care how hard you are, if you're getting beat up by, you know, 4, 5, 6 people, you screaming at some point, right?
For sure, yeah.
You're not screaming like a little girl, but you like, you know. And how come it went that far to where he was just, he was so badly hurt. And then I think I have a high schooler. I think about that and I'm like, man, I couldn't imagine the school calling me saying, oh, my daughter got jumped in the bathroom. Yeah. It's going to be World War III.
Yeah. That's something still, because, you know, I have younger kids, man. And
you're not there yet.
I ain't there yet, but I'm really hoping and praying that situation doesn't ever happen. Because I really, like, because I'm a very even-keeled person, man. Like, I really try to think about, like, the consequences of what I do and the actions that I do.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to my kids, though, man, it's a little different. You know what I mean?
It is different.
So it's just like, for someone to try to beat up my son or my daughter like that.
Right.
You know, like, I even remember growing up, like I said, I kind of mentioned the story before, just like, my sister kind of got, you know, picked on because she was good at basketball. So she would play basketball with boys, and some of the boys would, like, be a little rough with her and kind of, like, you know, come at her.
Right.
So, you know, I'm 8 years difference in her as far as our age. So I would go, you know, I'm
play
17. Yeah, I'm 17 and they 9. I'm going there and roughing them up, you know, even though I'm way bigger than them and, you know, probably shouldn't have done that. But that's my little sister, you know what I mean? So now you talking about my kids, man. Like, I just don't want to get put in that situation. I feel like, man, I might have to do something that I'm going to regret later.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's tough, though. I remember, like I said, I always think about, like, when I was in high school, man. I know, you know, times are different, but I remember people getting beat up, getting jumped pretty bad as well in scenarios. But because sometimes
sometimes you can even be a person that doesn't start or talk crap.
No, for sure.
They can just not like the way you dress.
No, for sure.
And they can pick on you, and then, you know, you can be walking away
like,
from the situation.
Security and stuff like that.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
there's no way. There's no, I mean, there's just, it's too many people in school.
There's too many people.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way for, especially, like, stuff to happen in the bathroom. I remember, like, we used to, like, growing up, like, at my high school, we had, like, you know, most high schools have, like, the athletic wing, right?
Right.
You know, a lot of times, you know, security, you know, isn't down there because that's, you know, not the part of the school that is being patrolled, right? So people would kind of meet down there, and that's when they would try to fight. Because we would tell them in school and lunch, they would say, hey, you know, meet me over there, because they knew there was less folks, you know, less patrol, I guess you could say, around that area. And that's what people would get it on at, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, it was just, it's just hard. I mean, I hate to hear a situation like that, but, you know, just knowing kind of how many kids go to those types of schools, man, it's going to be hard for them to eliminate those things happening, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, it's about that time. I have a question for you.
Okay.
So, you have 6 different options.
6 different options, okay.
You can only choose 2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Your first option is you can get a new car. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is you can earn $55,000 per month.
Okay. Like that for, like, forever? Is that what? It's just like,
I mean,
okay. I don't know if there was a
if that's where your brain goes.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. All right, cool.
It doesn't have a limit.
Okay.
Number 3, unlimited food. Mm-hmm. Number 4, a 6-figure job. Mm-hmm. Number 5, pay no taxes. Mm-hmm. Number 6, $250,000 right now. Which 2 are you choosing?
All right, so number 1 is unlimited food. Off top.
And it's funny because the 2 girls that posed these 2 questions, both of them said unlimited food.
Unlimited food. I mean, because I look at my household, I look at my, you know, the budget we have and the money that's spent. You know, I mean, food is the number 1 item. I mean, literally, we spend and we, you know, pretty quality food. We go to, you know, different places, and it's expensive. So unlimited food, number 1 for sure. Mm-hmm. So then now I don't need a new car, so that's the least important to me out of those that you mentioned. I would say it's tough because at first my mind first went to the $250,000 because I can flip it, but I mean I can do that kind of now for real. So it's like I'd rather just have the security of knowing I got on a monthly basis $55K coming in. That's why I was asking if it's something like, if it's like for 1 year. If it was just for 1 year, then nah, give me the lump sum and I'm rocking with it. But if it's like forever, like a retirement annuity type of thing, then I'm gonna rock with the 55 residual. Okay. You know what I mean? Okay. So, yeah. So to answer the question, if it's unlimited food, $55,000 a month. There we go. Okay. All right.
What about you then? Me, I'm rocking with number 2, $55,000 a month. Okay. And I'm rocking with no taxes.
Okay. I get it.
Quick math. What's 55,000 times 12?
Times 12? That is one. Hold on.
That's $660,000 a year.
Okay.
I'm taking $660,000 a year. I could buy as much food as I fucking want. I can have a budget of $100,000 a year on food if I want.
But you can have both. I got both of them though. With your scenario, I got both of them. No. You taking one. I'm taking both of them.
And then I don't want to pay taxes on none of that money.
But the same way you look at it, I feel like I'm gonna pay less taxes than I'm gonna spend money on food. You know what I mean? Taxes to me is like, if I look at the percentage of what I spend money on, food is way more than like 20-25%. You know, what I would be taxed at. And then on top of it, one of my best friends, he's an accountant. So, you know, a lot of times, at least for me,
even if you spent $3,000 per person in your household a month. Mm-hmm. That's $12,000 times 12. That's $144,000 a year. You ain't eating that much food.
No,
you'd be sitting in 2 chairs if you.
Nah, you're right. I would.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean.
I feel you.
No taxes for me.
I feel you. Like I said, to each his own. I mean, for me, it's the food. I can get the food all day, every day, without having to pay for it, having to think about paying for it.
Now, if you said food plus somebody to prepare it, then that's me. If I had the food and the cook, that's different.
Yeah, for me, like. You know, it's fun. I guess I'm, getting older. So the things that, excite me are some of the things that I'm like, I remember when I was a kid, I'm like, that's like, it's not cool, but it's cool to me now. It's like, I like cooking. I cooked on the grill yesterday. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so preparing food and stuff like that, like after my hectic day of, grinding, trying to get after it in that way, like, that's like a cool thing to me. And then, working out, like those two things are like things I like to look forward to in my day to day. So cooking to me that ain't really never been no thing to me. You know what I'm saying?
I don't mind cooking. I wouldn't say I like it, but I don't mind it. I think now because it's required of me to cook,
I can understand that. Like, it's a little different.
Yeah, it's a little different. Sure. Yeah. But like if I had a chef that can make and prepare different stuff all the time, like I love trying stuff. Yeah. Now in my house, we got a good rotating 10 to 15 meals. Yeah. If I have a chef, we're going to have way more. You're going to be making Mediterranean, you're going to be making African food, Indian. We're going to tap into every culture and every, country that's out there if I had a chef, you know? Mm-hmm. So
understood.
I would definitely enjoy that. I would enjoy having someone who could prepare these wonderful dishes and I try something new, 365 days out the year.
I understood.
I would appreciate that.
Understood that. Yeah, understood.
That's like goals.
Yeah, I understood.
Absolutely. Well, what you got coming up?
Like I mentioned earlier, my son has his first baseball game tomorrow, so that's exciting. Okay. All the fans supposed to come out to check him out.
Nice.
Let me see. Probably play golf. Like I said, I think hopefully the next couple of days the weather will be pretty good. Next week, I'll be going to. I got tickets to see Cat Williams.
Okay.
So that should be pretty fun next Friday at the Scope. I know he had that polarizing interview with Shannon Sharp. I believe that was last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of comedians. I love going to comedy shows. It's one of my favorite things to do. Yeah. Is checking out people. Mm-hmm. Comedy, and I've never seen him. I've seen pretty much all the folks that I've ever wanted to see, comedy wise, but I've never seen Cat Williams in person. I remember his forget what it was named, but Pimp Chronicles. I remember when I was in college in the football. We were always, me and a couple of the fellas, man. We would be in like my dorm room, or we would be in one of my buddies, and we would watch that all the time, laughing, just being weak. So kind of full circle of being able to see him in person next week. So that should be a good time. And that's pretty much it. My daughter's birthday is 2 weeks from now. So kind of just putting the final touches on that, getting everything ready for that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I love this time of the year, spring, a little pollen outside. My allergies starting to kick in a little bit. Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's the part that I guess sucks along with the weather, starting to kind of turn and be warm on a consistent basis. But I love this time of the year, man.
Yeah. So for me, I'm going to go and join this workout that's at Drip tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I think that's going to be really fun. I'm going to take my 9-year-old to get her to come out and join us because she's a couch potato and I need to get her out of that.
Get active.
Yeah, to definitely get active. My oldest is active. My youngest is even active. But her, she would rather sit down and do nothing. Yeah. So because she has that mindset, I got to get her out of it. Yeah. And then tonight we're actually going to, her school is hosting a 5th grade versus faculty basketball game.
Oh yeah,
tonight.
Okay.
So we're going to that. That's gonna be fun. I'm excited about that. She told me, she was like, I have my my friends, we're gonna meet up. I was like, what? You 9 years old? Like, where you meet up at? Next to me?
Right, yeah.
She has her sneaker ball coming up. It's on April 9th. So I'm actually excited where she gets to dress up and wear like fancy sneakers and be all dolled up, but just wear sneakers. Yeah. So she has that coming up. And we have volleyball next week, 2-day tournament. So that'll be my whole weekend. I want to go to Topgolf. I told some of my homegirls, like, I've been really wanting to go to Topgolf. So I think we're going to try and plan something and get out there and try to hit up Topgolf because that's what I really want to do.
Cool.
And that's pretty much it that I know of right off the top of my head. Oh, I'm going on vacation too. I'll be gone from April 12th through the 16th. Yeah, I'll be gone. Yep. So excited about that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I remember what you just said too reminded me of something I got going on tomorrow too, man. Totally slipped my mind. I'm actually my kids' school, they're having an auction, like an auction night, a parent auction night.
What are they auctioning?
They're just auctioning like different things that you can buy, like to raise money for the school. You're supposed to like dress up,
like food. Like what are they gonna auction?
I don't know exactly what they're gonna auction. You know what I mean? But it's just gonna be different things that you can buy. You know what I mean? So you can, I don't know.
All I could think of was my neighbor, right? Their son, he set up a table and he was like drawing on this piece of paper and it was just like scribble and he was like selling it for $5 and I was like, wow. What? And he came up to my door and was like, did you want to buy one of my paintings? And I was like, no, not today. And it was literally scribble and he was like,
trying to sell it? Yeah.
I was like, bro, you gotta come harder than that.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be anything like that.
I'm not buying scribble. You gotta at least draw a picture. Like I need good shading. A little color pencil in there somewhere. yeah. But yeah, it's going. I mean, it's
I've been to some like the school that my kids used to go to. They had an auction there as well, which it kind of was like that. They had like stuff that the kids would do. Things that they would make and they would sell them, like real cool pictures, like handprints and stuff. Just all different types of things that the kids do. But I was on a lower level. From my understanding, this is our first year going to the school, so I don't know really what to expect as far as the auction goes. But it is a big deal.
Just bring your checkbook and be ready.
Yeah, it's a big deal. They say
they could have just asked for donations.
Yeah, they got like a theme that they're going to be doing as well. They're supposed to be having like a whole bunch of like food catered and everything. It's supposed to be like a really, really big thing. So
nice.
That's something that I'm looking forward to as well. I forgot all about that, though.
Okay.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we do appreciate you guys listening to our podcast. You can follow me at I am Sofia KB.
Yep, and you can follow me at Bryan, so BRYAN _Royster on Instagram.
And you can follow the podcast at Let's Talk BS PC. And we will see you next week.
See you.